After his rescue with Rusty, Stepney became a permanent part of the Bluebell Railway. He happily ran up and down the line carrying passengers who wanted to travel on this railway. Sometimes he would see his friend Rusty. Usually, Stepney seemed very happy, but not today. "What's the matter?" asked Rusty. "There's bad news," sighed Stepney. "An important visitor is coming to inspect my railway. My rails and stations look very old and not that long." Rusty felt sorry for his new friend. "I have to do something to make my friend better," he sighed to his driver. "Never mind," said his driver. "The other engines would be happy to help if we told them." When Rusty got home, he told the other engines about the situation. "Something must be done for this poor engine," sympathized Duncan. "I've got a plan to make Stepney's line look better than before," said Skarloey, and he whispered his plan to Rusty, who smiled his biggest smile ever. The next day, they spoke with their drivers. "That way, we can make the line better before the very important visitor interferes," said Skarloey happily. "Goodness gracious, Skarloey," gasped his driver. "This could be the most brilliant plan for Stepney," interrupted Rusty's driver. "We'll speak to Sir Topham Hatt about this." And he picked up the telephone and called for Sir Topham Hatt. "Yes, I see," pondered Sir Topham Hatt. "There's an important ship coming from another harbor. I'll speak with the controller about this." Skarloey and Rusty were waiting impatiently as Daisy hurried into the station with Sir Topham Hatt on board. "I've heard the commotion of the very important visitor coming to inspect Stepney's branch," he said. "So I've ordered a ship with paint and equipment to make it fresh and new." Rusty and Skarloey were relieved. "Now," whistled Skarloey, "we can make Stepney's line good as new." "However," added Rusty, "we must wait for the paint and equipment. We wouldn't want to fix it without paint or equipment, you know." Skarloey smiled, but felt nervous inside. Soon he had collected the paint and equipment from Henry at the harbor, and he was soon on his way to the station. It took a long time, but Skarloey was determined. At last he arrived at the Bluebell station. Stepney and his driver had heard everything, and were very happy. Soon the plan was put into action. Stepney had been told to stop at all the places he stopped. The workmen polished the stations and made sure all the rails were spic and span. Soon the Bluebell Railway was decorated and repainted. Stepney was pleased, but was still worried inside. Just then the signal dropped, and out echoed a whistle. "Here he comes!" cried everyone, as the sounds of an unfamiliar engine chuffed into view. All the engines whistled and tooted in agreement and excitement. And out stepped the very important visitor. He looked at the station and all in the Bluebell Railway. He spoke with his driver and then to Stepney. "You have the most beautifulest railway line that I've ever seen. Well done." "Thank you," whistled Stepney, "but I couldn't have done it without my friend and Skarloey and Rusty." "Then congratulations to you all," said the very important visitor. All of the engines smiled their biggest smiles ever, including Stepney. He could never have felt better than to live and work on the Bluebell Railway.